scientists propose that octopuses are actually aliens from outer space. Welcome to the Winter Olympics, everybody. No hugging, but help yourself to the free condoms. And a man was denied a bank loan and then set the bank on fire. These are the weird stories for Thursday on Weird AF News, the only daily weird news podcast hosted by a comedian. The only daily weird news podcast. The only daily weird news podcast. A scientific paper claims that octopuses are actually aliens from outer space. It's the sound of science. It's a new scientific paper, guys. They're making a very crazy claim that octopuses are not from Earth. They're from space. Sounds like the opening line of a cheesy science fiction movie. But it's actually the main part of the argument behind a research paper that was published in a real peer-reviewed scientific journal. It was published in what's called the journal Progress in Biophysics and Molecular Biology. The name of the paper is The Cause of the Cambrian Explosion, Terrestrial or Cosmic. The paper digs deep into the origin of life on Earth. As a result, it proposes that life began thanks to a rain of retroviruses, which literally fell from space. Those viruses then added new DNA sequences to terrestrial genomes, which the paper says further drove mutagenic change. All right, let's try and wrap our heads around what they're saying here. They're saying viruses came from space, fell and mixed with the biological soup that we had going over here, creating further mutagenic change, leading to some of the craziest organisms that we have on Earth currently, including the octopus, the squid. There's some very odd-looking creatures at the very, very depths of the ocean, down near that crack, that crack in the ocean where no sunlight goes. Have you seen those creatures down there? They look like they are from another planet. They really do. It's crazy to me. There's your horror film right there. It takes place at that crack, the haunted crack. No, we don't need demons and zombies. No, those real creatures that are on Earth right now at that crack down there, those things are frightening. What are those? What is that? Now, back into this paper that was published in the journal. Things get really interesting. The paper starts to discuss the arrival of cephalopods. This includes octopi. Is that plural of octopi? The paper itself claims that certain cephalopods, like octopuses, I was wrong, it's octopuses, not octopi. Octopuses, squid, and others, they're saying, arrived on Earth by falling from space, frozen in a kind of stasis. We're supposed to believe that octopuses came frozen from... like from Trader Joe's, and fell to Earth. Ooh, calamari. Here's a quote from the journal. Thus, the possibility that cryopreserved squid and possibly octopus eggs arrived in icy bodies several 100 million years ago. It should not be discounted. It's quite possible. The authors of the paper say that the octopus and other creatures benefit from biological features that appear to have been derived from, quote, some type of pre-existence. The idea that life originated beyond Earth isn't exactly a new one. Many people have posited that life originated elsewhere. Now, many people have posited that life originated elsewhere because they just can't imagine that Earth is a magical enough place that it happened here. They have to pass the buck onto some other situation, including someone named Francis Crick who discovered the DNA. He believed that life on Earth was created via, or arrived via, what's called directed panspermia, which is not only did it arrive from outer space, but it was directed here from another life form, another planet, an alien civilization elsewhere, directed it here because they saw that Earth was an appropriate environment for life to flourish. I don't believe any of that shit myself. I think it came out of here, under the right circumstances. Under the right circumstances, let's try that again. Under the right circumstances, magic happens. And this is a magical place. Earth is amazing. Miracles happen here. Still, there's something interesting about the possibility that octopuses arrived from space. Sure, it might sound crazy, but the authors of this paper have presented a lot of interesting evidence, it says here, for other scientists to mull over. Of course, it's going to take a lot to actually prove this, and singling out one specific group of animals could be making the focus far too narrow to actually prove anything at all. For now, all we can do is look back at this paper and watch to see what other evidence these scientists might bring forward in the future. This paper to me seems like it's science mixed with science fiction, really, which is fun. Science can get boring. Might as well mix aliens into some of these papers. Why not? And as long as we're just going to propose things coming from space, I propose something. I think Tyreek Hill, the wide receiver for the Kansas City Chiefs, is an alien. I just have never seen another human being move like that. I never have. Welcome to the Winter Olympics. No hugging is allowed. But help yourself to the free condoms, everybody. Free condoms, but no hugging. It makes so much sense. Oh, imagine yourself an Olympian. Just imagine you're an Olympian. Just for a moment. You're very sexy. And you've been invited to the Winter Olympics. You got a hard body, don't you? You got abs. You're going to be living in a village populated by thousands of other people with abs. The hottest people from all over the world. Imagine, the hottest. They all look good in a bathing suit. They all look good so naked. I mean, these are the best looking naked people in all of the world. They've been gathered and put into a village. Oh, imagine. And imagine this. They've spent a decade denying themselves any pleasure at all. They've just been focused on the task at hand, becoming the best at one tiny little stupid thing. And not stupid, guys. It's not stupid. It's actually wonderful. It's wonderful stuff. I love watching the Olympics. Not really. Anyways, you've mastered curling, but you've never had a night of lovemaking. And now you're in a village. How are you going to spend your free time? You're going to have downtime. Well, thankfully, they're giving out some free condoms. But there's a bit of a dilemma here because we also have a pandemic and the Olympic Committee is kind of like, we don't want to encourage people to get down and dirty, although we're giving out condoms. We're going to give out the condoms, but also say, hey, you know what? Don't hug. Keep the hugging to a minimum. It is possible to have sex without hugging. But this is a nightmare of a situation. They want to operate under some incredibly strict social distancing rules. They want to prevent the games from becoming an international super spreader event. Of course, athletes have been instructed to minimize the hugs, the high-fiving, the handshake, the fist pounds. But now you're giving them condoms. You're kind of also saying, hey, no fist pounds, but if you want to pound something else, go right ahead. At least be safe. Will you just be safe while you're living in this sexy village of sexy people? Yeah, this is a big situation, big problem to deal with. Luckily, this is not the first Olympics to be held during the COVID crisis. Last year's delayed 2020 games in Tokyo have already set a precedent for the exact situation we're dealing with now at the Winter Olympics. How did they deal with it in Tokyo? Well, they handed out 160,000 free condoms to the athletes. That's how they did. Yeah, here you go. 200,000 condoms. But at the same time, they warned them, don't you breach social distancing guidelines. Don't you breach those guidelines. It could result in your disqualification, even your deportation. What are we talking about here? We're talking about no hugging. Don't you hug? We will deport your ass. But here's 200,000 free condoms for the village. Just saying. When asked about the purpose of the condoms, the Olympic Committee said, no, these are just souvenirs. Commemorative souvenirs. Your commemorative Winter Olympics condom package. Okay. You like podcasts? You're listening to my podcast. Maybe you thought to yourself, I'd like to make a podcast. Too difficult. No, not with Anchor. Anchor has free creation tools that allow you to record and edit your podcast from your phone or your computer. Anchor distributes your podcast to Apple, Spotify, Stitcher, and more. They have advertising integration, so you can even make a little money off your podcast. Everything you need to make a podcast in one place. Download the free Anchor app or go to anchor.fm to get started. And good luck with your podcast. Good luck with your creation. Good luck with your life, man. Yay! A man was denied a bank loan and then set the bank on fire. It's like a real-life John Wick. This took place in India. Indian police have arrested a disgruntled charity worker accused of setting a bank on fire after his loan application was completely rejected by the bank. Wasim Hazarasab Mullah, age 33, from Hevery in India's southern Karnataka state. He approached the state-run bank, which is called Canara Bank. Can pronounce Canara. It's almost like canary. He asked for 1.6 million rupees. Now, I know that sounds like a lot of money. 1.6 million rupees? Of course he was denied. Well, it's only $20,000, roughly, USD. Now, Mr. Mullah, his application was denied because he failed to meet the bank's credit policy. And there were over discrepancies in his paperwork, according to the bank. Police claim that he drove to the bank on a motorcycle. Later that evening, after being denied, broke open a window that night, sprayed liquid inside, and set the bank ablaze. Residents raised the alarm after they saw plumes of smoke rising from this building. Mr. Mullah was stopped by the locals at the scene before the police were called. Well, it sounds like this guy hung around to watch it burn, burn, yes, you're gonna burn, 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 yes, you're gonna burn, yes, you're gonna burn. You just hung around? Mr. Mullah, you have no idea how to light a bank on fire. Dude, get on your motorcycle and flee the scene. It's called flee the scene. Right. Here's a quote from it says, the top police officer. Okay, I guess they got a top police officer. That can't make the other police officers feel very good, but okay. He was angry after his loan application was rejected. We found that he sprayed some inflammable chemicals, maybe petrol, but we are currently investigating the matter. He ran a non-governmental organization. He wanted money for machines and had applied for a loan of 1.6 million rupees. Fortunately, no cash or gold or other valuables were destroyed in this fire. 5 computers, fans, passbook printers, cash counting machines, and lights worth 1.2 million rupees were damaged in the fire only. Mr. Mullah has been charged with arson. Now, I want to take a moment to speak about our star of this story, Mr. Mullah. You know, we've all been put into a position where we're just very frustrated with an organization. You can relate with what I'm saying. If you've ever been to a DMV in Los Angeles, I've had some moments in the DMV where I just wanted to take a chair and throw it through a window. But I kept it in me. I kept it inside, you know. It wasn't just at a DMV. I've had other instances in other buildings. Usually they're governmental related because the government can't do anything except screw it up. And then you got to fix the problem, you know, whether it's your taxes or other things. There's been many instances where I wanted to just pick up a desk, just flip it, you know. But I kept it inside. I didn't allow myself to do it. I exerted self-control, and it wasn't easy. I almost admire a guy who just goes through with that feeling, that impulse. You know what? Screw it! If I'm going down, we're all going down. Of course, you know, it's not okay to light big fires because fires can spread to the innocent. So I don't advise that. Perhaps he could have done it with graffiti or something. I don't know. I don't condone lighting fires. Let's just say that. But man, I admire a person who just says, screw it. You know what? I'm going to really not keep my impulse down, and I'm going to express my anger at your organization. You've made it all the way to the outro. Tell them what they've won, Rod. Well, because you've made it all the way to the outro of this episode of Weird AF News, all of you have won a round-trip ticket to Florida. Oh, the greatest place in the world. That comes with the following. You get hepatitis. You get bit by an alligator in your ankles. And you almost drown. Hey, it's Florida. Welcome to the swamp. Hey, guys. Would you like a round-trip ticket to Florida? Maybe if I had enough money, I would give out. That would be totally like a prize I could give at the end of the year. Oh, man, imagine Weird AF News gets to the level where I've made enough money where I have like a budget to give out prizes like that. That would be incredible. I would totally send listeners to Florida. That would be so cool. Also, I would send you guys to like weird festivals, you know, like the knob throwing festival in the UK. That would be pretty cool. By the way, someone messaged me saying, Jonesy, did you know that knob is also a word for a slang for a penis? So that whole article, I'm saying throwing knobs. I could throw a knob. Yeah, I like these knobs look good. I like to dip a knob in gravy. I'm saying penis to some people out there. Thanks for bringing that to my attention. That makes it all so hilarious, actually. Look, I can be the butt of a joke. I have no problem with that. What I can't be the butt of is these bad reviews. Man, what the hell? What the hell, man? Amazon reviews. Listen, I checked my Amazon today. I still got those bad reviews up top. So guys, leave some reviews on there. Positive. Like my friend Doug, who I've been talking to on Instagram, Doug Strong from Canada. Doug brought it to my attention that, in fact, Amazon in Canada, I have 5 reviews. Every one of them is a 5-star review, which makes total sense because people in Canada just love the Weird AF News podcast. That's like some of my best fans are in Canada. I'm 5 out of 5, 5-star reviews. Unbelievable. Doug wrote me a review as well with the title, Juicy Out of the Box News. Thank you, Doug. Appreciate you bringing it to my attention that I have these great reviews on Amazon Canada. I didn't even know it was a separate website. Apparently it is. Okay, so leave a review on Amazon, please, because the reviews are terrible. I know you want to call the show, so 646-450-2012. You might have a reaction to some of these stories I've been doing lately. Some of them are a little scandalous. I'm going to publish calls at the end of this if you want to stick around and listen to that. Other news. Tomorrow's Friday, Florida Friday. Start sending me Florida articles if you can. My email's funnyjones@gmail.com, or you can send them to me in a DM on Instagram @funnyjones. I'll get them there. I'm giving you these two because I check them every day, all day. Instagram and my email all day. You can send them somewhere else, but I might not get it in time. So these are the ones I check every day, all day. I'm all over Instagram and my email, all day, all day. So, lastly, check out the Patreon, patreon.com/weirdafnews. I'm about to record my AMA video, Ask Jonesy Anything video. And so a bunch of people have submitted questions. Some of you have emailed me questions, but you're not on the Patreon. So you're not going to be able to see the video of my answering these questions. So you might want to consider buying Jonesy a cup of coffee. Patreon.com/weirdafnews is where you can join the Patreon and you get access to all the additional content, including my response video to all your questions. Some of them are outrageous. Some of you wrote like 8 questions, which is a little overkill. I'm not going to answer all 8. There's just no time. I want to keep this video I'm going to cap it at an hour. So, but a lot of good questions have come in and very strange questions, personal questions, which I'm all right with. And I'm not shy. Whatever. I don't need to hide who I am too much. I hide a little bit. I have to do it for safety reasons, guys. Safety. Anyways, hope you're enjoying the show. Hope you're enjoying your week. And we'll see you tomorrow for Florida Friday, baby.
Hey, Jonesy. This is Jeanette from Jersey. I was just calling in. Normally I wouldn't, but I just listened to the episode of a mother who was offered $500,000 for her child. It, of course, conjured up some thoughts. My first thought is, wouldn't you go to Wayfair for that? Wasn't that the one that they actually were conspiracy theory about selling children? You buy a Buick for $10,000 and you pick the color. But that's a whole other subject. I guess the other thing is as you're going forward, I'm thinking, could we maybe follow up with this mother in 18 years and see if she should have taken the money, if she feels like that's a moment where she maybe rubs it in the face later, I could have got $500,000 for you back then and I should have taken the money. I could just imagine something along those lines. And then again, the other thought goes to, I tell my husband all the time, you can get anything at Walmart, just anything. All right, that's all I got for you. Talk to you later. Bye.
Hey, Jonesy, how's it going? It's Smokey calling. And I was listening to your podcast yesterday about the woman at Walmart who was trying to buy the other lady's child. Man, that was a great story. Well, I got to start this off by saying, something about stereotypes, because as I describe this and explain myself, I don't want to get into the area of stereotypes. Like myself, my name is Smokey, and I kind of slowly speak, and maybe people are going to think like I'm a pothead or something. And, about stereotypes, some people think that when you talk about those kinds of things, that you're making generalizations about certain classes of people, and others are going to say, well, that all stereotypes are based in fact. But anyway, let's just put that aside Anyhow, I was listening to your podcast last night, and I was totally wasted. And I heard about this woman, Rebecca Taylor, who wanted to buy this other woman's child, a blonde-haired, blue-eyed kid. And you automatically went to the stereotype of her wanting to start her own Aryan race of children. But man, that's not what that was. Rebecca Taylor had a wingman, so to speak, or a wing woman who joined in and tried to help her buy that child. And they offered a lot of money, $250,000 for that child. Well, here's what that was. They were lesbians. They weren't Aryan race. Yeah, they got lots of money saved up. They were getting ready to be artificially inseminated, and that takes a lot of money. And if you can just buy a child and spare your hoo-ha getting stretched out, well, then that's all the better for the lesbian love, not to have a honeypot that's just large size now. So go ahead and buy a child that's ready-made. Yeah, that's worth a lot of money. Plus, they probably were saving up to buy a wolf dog anyway, so they could just buy one of those, just instead of cloning one, just get one that's, like a full breed. You can probably buy one of those for $4,000 or $5,000. Anyway, when they tried to buy that child and the woman wouldn't accept their offer, they chased her on out to the parking lot. The woman got in her car and drove away, and the lesbian Rebecca Taylor, her partner, took off in one car, and Rebecca Taylor got in her black SUV and tried to chase her down. I'm almost going to guarantee you that SUV was probably like a Subaru Ascent or a Subaru Crosstrek, because that's what they drive, Anyway, that's what my take on this situation is. It was lesbians, not women looking to start their own Aryan race. Anyway, yeah, remember what I said about stereotypes. You don't want to get wrapped up in those things because that can get you in trouble. But that's what I...
Hey, Jonesy, it's Luna from Texas, and, okay, those ladies just tried to casually just purchase a child. No, who the frick even wants a child? Children are annoying. Okay, no offense hey, parents, I'm sorry, that came out wrong, but I understand children and teenagers because I am in the teenager category. They're nuts. And I think if any other teenagers are listening, then either they are the boys in the back of the class or they know about the boys in the back of the class. So, yeah. Wait, where was I going with that? I just forgot. Okay. Oh, right. I'm talking about those ladies casually trying to purchase a child. No, I would sell my child. My child would probably be a demon. Not literally, but if my child turns out anything like me, I am throwing the child into a trash can. If I ever have a child, if it turns out like me, it's going in the trash. Okay, so anyways, why Texas women? Why must you attempt to purchase a child? Okay, I've just been ranting. I have chugged a Mountain Dew and have been up since 3 this morning. So, yeah. Okay. You know what? Good luck with your life, man.